So you got through your selection process, and now you are actually looking at your LMS implementation process. So what that means is you're going to be coming up with a beautiful and brilliant project plan that your organization can follow as you go through this experience. If you're looking at this and you've already selected an LMS vendor, the first step to really go through is go to that vendor and see what their timeline is for the implementation. There are going to be certain tasks like data imports, for example, that your LMS vendor is going to want to occur at a particular period of time. So go through that with them, decide whether you're going to do like a 6-month implementation, a 3-month. Vendors often provide a standard implementation plan around 6 months, depends on the vendor, but they'll also do an expedited plan if that is what makes sense for your organization. So look at that, decide how many internal resources you can devote to this project and what makes sense for you. If you want to, also take the vendor's timeline and consider what tasks you need to complete internally in order to support that plan. So for example, the vendor's thinking of it in terms of what technically has to happen for that system to be successful. And what you might be thinking of is like internal marketing. What do you want to put out there in terms of promoting the system to your learners and making sure the organization's supervisors and managers know what's going on? So those are tasks that might run alongside and kind of complement what you're doing with the vendor. You might need to decide on a logo for the LMS. You may need branding to be in place. You might want a name for that. And all of these things might take place alongside those things that you're performing with the vendor. So there's actually a list of these tasks that is available to members of LearnTech Collective. If you've got the LMS Success book, you can also look in there for some of these suggested tasks that can run alongside what you're doing with the vendor. You can also create your own task list and just basically take it in terms of phases. So if you're already to the point where you've selected the vendor, you can kind of start there and go, okay, well, we haven't started the implementation process. Are there any tasks that we want to happen right now? This could be phase 1 for you. Are there any tasks that we want to do right as the implementation starts with the vendor? Is there anything that can wait until right when we're doing the rollout? Just basically look for benchmarks and plan what tasks you want to do at each of those benchmarks. And then also think through not only the task, but who should be assigned to that task. Are there multiple people? Are there tasks in the future that are based on when you are going to complete that initial task? Different things like that you really want to think through so that you don't end up, having this task over here in the beginning delayed and then it's affecting other things. So think through all of these things as you're going into your implementation process, and it will definitely minimize any frustration or any delays that you have later. The planning process can really save you a lot of time, and definitely speak with your LMS vendor throughout that implementation process and make sure they're looped in. If you have any questions about this or anything else throughout your implementation process, if you're a member of LearnTech Collective, definitely post in the LinkedIn group, and I or one of the other administrators will definitely get back to you and try to help you out. Thank you.